Hi Rauf, really well done on another submission. I can see that you're working really hard on these and consistently submitting work, which is the best way to improve your writing. Fantastic. So this first essay here is about local governments pushing companies to move from large cities, and you were asked to look at the benefits and drawbacks of this and give reasons for your answer. Okay, as always, including relevant examples and knowledge or experience. Okay, so organisations are encouraged by local authorities to relocate from urban areas to rural provinces. In my opinion, this development can aid to foster an economy and to safeguard the environment, while negatively affect organisations. In this essay, I will analyse both advantages and disadvantages of this action. Okay, good. So, good start there, well done. A really strong start is good work. In my opinion, this development can aid to foster an economy and to safeguard the environment, but also negatively affect organisations. Okay, so without the comma there. In this essay, I will analyse both the advantages and disadvantages of this action. Alright, good. On the one hand, there is ample evidence that organisations suffer from changing workplaces. Good. The central reason behind this is twofold. Firstly, building new establishments requires extra expenses, which consequently is reflected on a balance sheet with a plummeting profit. Okay, good. So no comma here between expenses and which. Secondly, it can play a detrimental role in employees' concentration and productivity ratio, because they also need to relocate and leave their homes and families, which may lead to getting homesick. Okay, well done. Good description there. Take, for example, Nike, which worked with a loss for 6 months in a row when they relocated their factory from Beijing to Shanghai. Therefore, it can be stated beyond doubt that organisations are negatively affected by changing their workplaces. Okay, well done. Good. So a really strong paragraph there. That's good. A couple of things here. First of all, workplaces is all one word. Okay, so no gap in the middle, and the same at the end here as well. So workplaces is just one word. Yeah, some really good description here. Where you've got take, for example, we'd have take, comma, for example, comma, Nike. Just because the for example is like a subclause here. Good. Other than that, therefore, comma, it can be stated beyond doubt. Okay, but the rest of it is really very good. Only a couple of changes, ones we've already mentioned, but otherwise a great structure of a paragraph, a good outlining your point, giving your example, your evidence, and then rounding that paragraph off with a sentence that links back to the question. So really well done. Good. On the other hand, despite its downsides, urging firms to leave urban areas has, okay, many advantages, because it's singular, has many advantages, such as a boost to the economy and to the environment. Okay, this is largely because when firms are diversified through a country, the economy will emerge in terms of industrialization of the whole country. Okay, so instead of diversified, I would say probably this is largely because when firms relocate across a country, the economy will emerge in terms of industrialization for the whole country. Okay. Moreover, it decreases the population of urban areas, which in turn reduces the volume of traffic that emits exhaust fumes into the air. For instance, Turkey's economy emerged after changing the capital city and transferring companies to a new town. Thus, comma, it is conclusively clear that transferring industry to rural provinces has great advantages for the environment and the economy. Okay, well done. Again, another really good paragraph there. So you've followed the same structure. So it's almost like a kind of 1, 2, 3 structure, having the 1 outlining the point, 2 giving your evidence, 3 rounding off that paragraph by saying what this proves, how it links to the question. Really well done. Okay, so it shows a really nice logical progression and coherence to your essay and is improving your writing a lot. Really well done. To conclude, although relocating industries from urban to other areas has, so in singular here, has some downsides, its advantages cannot be overstated. It is predicted that this trend will increasingly grow in importance over the upcoming decades. Okay, well done. Yes, a really great piece of writing. So there are a few problems here at all. A couple of areas that can be tweaked, which we mentioned, but nothing that is major. So really well done on that one. Definitely a piece of writing you should be really proud of. Let's look at your other piece as well then. So this is your piece about the restoration of old buildings in major cities and how this can be very expensive and how people believe that it would be better spent on housing and road development. So again, it was what extent do you agree or disagree with this opinion? So let's have a look. A significant amount of financing is required for renovating ancient buildings in the main urban areas over the developing and developed world. It is considered by some that those expenses should be diverted to establishment of residential areas and road infrastructure. In my opinion, this idea can be supported, but not to the detriment of iconic historical landmarks. Okay, well done. Good. Now, this word here, ancient, it is a good word. However, it eliminates some of the old buildings because ancient is when we're talking about time periods like ancient Egypt or ancient Rome. So better here to use historical buildings. Okay. Good. So a great opening sentence there. Second, it is considered by some that those expenses should be diverted to, I would say, constructing residential areas and road infrastructures. Okay. In my opinion, this idea can be supported, but not to the detriment of iconic historical landmarks. Good, great phrase there. Really well done. Investing in something, investing in new residential areas and roads rather than old buildings plays a significant role in improving citizens' quality of life. Okay, that is to say, it will reduce homelessness rates and traffic congestion in cosmopolitan areas and therefore contribute people and the economy of a country. What do we mean here by contribute people? Okay, so homelessness rate and traffic congestion in cosmopolitan areas and therefore contribute, I would say probably contribute to the society and the economy of a country. For instance, over the past century, the USA government achieved an incredible growth in the economy and the standard of living by diverting money from renovation, so take out to establishment of new apartments and roads in the States. Thus, it is conclusively clear that building new apartments rather than renovating older ones is beneficial to societies. Okay, well done. Okay, sorry, I see what you mean with this sentence before. So you mean that money from renovating apartment buildings to building new apartment buildings. Okay, so what I would say here then is diverting money from the renovation to the construction of new apartments and roads in the States. Okay, good, well done. However, although spending money to build new residential areas and road infrastructures has numerous advantages, the role of historical landmarks for communities cannot be overstated. This is largely because those landmarks not only are main tourist attractions, but they are also cultural heritage of nations. Okay, so, but they also, I would say here, they also represent the cultural heritage of a nation. Consequently, a budget considered for caring for essential historical areas should not be cancelled in order to prevent disappearance of a culture and a history. The local government of Barcelona, for example, protected its Gothic area when they restructured the city in the 19th century. Okay, a budget considered for caring for, I would say here, a budget considered for maintaining historical areas should not be cut. So to cut a budget should not be cut in order to prevent losing culture and history. Okay, local government of Barcelona, good, yeah, good, well done. Okay, so what we are missing here is just a last sentence, because if you remember that kind of 1, 2, 3 of a paragraph, we had point, then some evidence, then an explanation. Here we've got quite a long point, then we've got evidence, but there's no explanation, so there's no third point here. We could argue that this is the third point, okay, but really we need that at the end of the paragraph rather than in the middle of it. Okay. In conclusion, while I believe that investing money to create residential areas and improve road infrastructure should be preferred to the renovation of old areas, okay, so while I believe that investing money to build residential areas and improve roads should be prioritized over renovating old areas, it must not be implemented at the detriment of losing iconic locations. Now be careful here, because we've used this already at the beginning in your introduction, and it's almost the same phrase. I would say instead, it must not be implemented at the cost of iconic locations, or at the cost of maintaining iconic locations. So, at the cost of the maintenance of iconic locations. That way, we're saying that it shouldn't be introduced and replace renovating old buildings. Okay, so what we're saying here is that it is important, but both are important. We shouldn't lose one in favour of the other. Okay, but again, a very good piece of writing, just like we said about the last one. Yeah, good. So you've got some really good points in here. What I would say about this third paragraph is just to slightly change the structure, so we've got a rounding off sentence at the end of that paragraph. And just change the wording of that last sentence there, so that we're not repeating from the last sentence of your introduction. Okay, but yes, 2 very good pieces of writing. Really well done.